challenges very specific to that. If you look at traditional consumer products companies, you have their warehouses, then from there the material is going to a distributor warehouse. From a distributor warehouse, it's going to the retail place. At a distributor warehouse, typically we are holding material for an average 21 days. At the retail place, again 21 to 30 days on average we are holding material. So it is, just in the chain you have somewhere around, including transportation, roughly about 45 days of inventory. You're losing that much freshness. By the time product reaches the consumer, there is a huge amount of freshness that is lost. You look at, because it is very fragmented, the distributors are typically serving one particular company. It's very fragmented. So when he is trying to, so there is a lot of consolidation happening. So he is getting shipment, let's say once in 3 days or once in 7 days, depending on the size from the OEM or the manufacturer. Then he will be serving the retail market. Say once in 7 days typically is the norm for most of the consumer products company. In the bigger cities we have once in a day also. But then they are touching many retail points, and the productivity of that last mile delivery and the cost, therefore the cost per unit is very, very high. And productivity of last mile is really pathetic in India because of the traffic congestion, because of the, if you go to the retail store, they start counting each of the material because of the pack size the way we have. It's not the pack size that we can just load units that we can move from one place to other. So there is a lot of cost that we are doing in the handling at all places, the transportation at all places. The average vehicle size, if you look at in the last mile, is very small. The utilization of those assets is very, very low, typically one round, and the utilization in terms of volume and weight is also very low. So there are a lot of improvements that we can look at if we combine all these aspects and look at various kinds of technologies. Some of them I probably look at is packaging is a great lever. I think the packaging is one of the biggest lever I see in how you package both the inner package as well as outer package. That probably can make a big difference in how you handle a number of touch points that you have. Second, I see, that's a thought that I have, that this entire segment is going to have a big consolidation. The large 3PL players or the large distributors are going to come in, who will handle multi-brands. They will be handling multi-brands together. And just imagine, a supply chain where a retail is ordering the material using the POS system that they have, ordering the material to the 3PL company. 3PL company is passing the or directly to the OEMs. OEMs is packing that in the entire, and they are not doing anything. They are sending the entire pallet load. The pallet load is coming to this very high-speed cross-docking facility. It just cross-docks the entire thing and then sort it out by retail stores and send it to the retail stores and multi-products. You have Britannia, ITC, Levers, everybody together going to the retail stores and getting it delivered. So it has the opportunity to improve the vehicle size, the number of shipments that it can do, the frequency can be very high, and therefore the availability can go up significantly at the retail place, and as well as the cost can come down significantly. There are other technology in transportation and warehousing. I think we have heard a lot from others, so I'm just going to pass that. Thank you.
I guess we are running short of time and everybody seems to get bored by now. So I would make it really short, and I would want to start with one thing, that logistics is still an unorganized sector. I mean, after companies putting a lot of brains as in how to optimize, how to make it more efficient, it's still not customer centric enough. I mean, I still remember when you go back 2-3 years back, the delivery boy used to update delivery information on a piece of paper. Eventually, it evolved from a piece of paper to a desktop-based application, and now we could see some of the companies doing some sort of updates on a mobile phone when they come to. I'm sure everybody faced that. The guy is taking signature on a mobile device. So I personally feel that the market is evolving, and because of increase in demand of companies to do deliveries on a single day notice, I think technology plays a very significant role in making sure the customer, that the customer, the delivery boy should reach customer at the right time, to a right customer at the right, point in time in the day. So that is that's only possible because of technology, and there's no other way you can make sure that I know a typical example. I want to give you a typical hub manager in a typical courier company spends about 3 to 4 hours a day to create routes of a delivery, because he doesn't know where to go first, where to go second, where to go third. And he spends a lot of time in making it sure that my delivery boy reach every customer, throughout a day. I think with the piece of technology, you can do a lot of optimization and create routes for their people, delivery boy, so that this guy can reach to entire, and to all the customers with so he could reach that number. And in India, I think the maximum problem which all of these e-commerce companies face is its attempts. I mean, if a company can deliver a product in first attempt, they can make profit. If it's second or third, the profit is gone. So every whether you talk about an e-commerce company or any courier logistics company, they want to make sure that the product will reach customer in first attempt. And with increase of technology, now companies is doing a lot of different things. One example is frictionless delivery. I mean, gone are the days where you need to call to a courier customer care number and asking where your packet are. Nobody wants to call to any company now. Companies are making sure that you should know if your product is delayed. I mean, that's the expectation, at least, from me as a customer, that if I have ordered something, I should be intimated in advance that either my product is delayed or it is still, on the way, or I'll be expecting, I can expect a product in next 30 minutes. That's what the basic demand is. By Uber coming into picture, we have seen a customer taking control of everything. He can control what time he chooses his ride to where he want to, get his car. This is what we call as Uberization of, and since after Uberization of logistics comes to place, we want to get everything, under control. We want to see where my product is, where my delivery guy is. If I want to reschedule my delivery, I would be able to do it without a call. I can go to I can go to a page. I can say I'm not at home. Just leave it to my neighbor and all those stuff. So I think with piece of, with technology, you can get all those things implemented very quickly, so that customer will feel happy, okay, that this company has adopted technology in a way that I know what's happening, right? I know what's happening from my product. That's where technology plays a major role. And last mile delivery, to be precise, is a meeting point between a company and a customer. And if if a delivery guy screws it, it actually, kind of, it reflects on the reputation of a company. So every company want to make sure that the last mile delivery should happen at a particular, it should happen at the time when customer requires it. So that's where technology plays a major role in it. And we are helping, a lot of companies in making sure that entire first mile, pickup to line haul function to last mile delivery should be optimized, should be, full of technology, so that no, with minimum manual intervention, you can make sure that the product will reach customer, on time. So that's how technology can plays a major role. Still, a lot of companies is trying to adapt the technology, which is still not there. We talk about drones, but we are still not 100% automated, to be very frank with you. I think we should first reach to a stage where we can automate the entire process, starting from a, first mile pickup to the last mile delivery. And since, as Mradul said, finding an address is a big problem in India. I mean, if I have to put my address as Green Park, I would put what GRNPRK, and the companies don't understand what's this, and nobody can find that address. So the technology plays a major significant role in that, so that you can understand that GRNPRK is like Green Park, and you can deliver, that product on time. So I think technology is the only solution to, optimize your delivery cost, to make sure that your customer will be happy, and to make sure that you're 100% foolproof in terms of which is going out from your hubs and which is coming in on your I mean, when you talk about reverse pickup, I still remember we kind of started that 90 minutes reverse pickup with, with Snapdeal, those days. And those were the days when companies took about 3 to 4 days to, to reverse your material. But now companies have started doing it in a day. So with a lot of decent algorithms, in a picture, you can make sure that we can, if you want to return something, your guy can immediately get a notification on his phone that, okay, apart from all these deliveries, I have to pick up something from this customer, which is a nearby locality. So this kind of technology can place companies, because now you don't have to create two different teams, one team to deliver a product, one team to pick up a product, right? From a single delivery boy, you can kind of do the delivery, you can do the pickups, and you can even manage your first mile pickup. So that's what optimization for me is, right? That if you have to deploy 100 people for a thing, and with technology you can deploy 50 people doing more amount, with higher efficiency. That's what the technology can do. So I think I would like to end this session with,
Okay, apparently the air seems to be very heavy about everything that's wrong and difficult parts of what supply chain in India is all about. But let me tell you something. This actually presents a huge, not just a challenge, but I think it's a great opportunity for supply chain solutions companies, if they really are embraced by the marketplace, to tell them what it is that we can do, regardless of all those bottlenecks that you have in the chain. A lot has to come from the government. For instance, the GST. Now, something like this was actually spoken of by the Tatars some 25 years ago. They actually instituted a committee called the Godbole Committee, which recommended what is GST, or what will be GST tomorrow. And believe you or not, the first people who went on strike was certain governments, because they thought if you're going to have free flow of traffic coming in, then the possibilities of holding up vehicles en route, the possibilities of that becoming an extracting resource for political parties and the rest, the whole thing stops entirely, because it's a one-point taxation. Now, finally, it's taken 25. So it's more like India in slow motion. It is in slow motion, but the good thing is it is in motion. Uh, the fact that we have so many forces that keep pulling up with a lot of local interests, invested interests, the kind of geography that India represents, the primitive part of the physical infrastructure on the ground, a place like Antwerp that has probably 132 burning spots, all India probably have about 25 to 30 burning spots, yeah? Regardless being some 1,500 times their size. Now, these are all events, unfortunately, which is not there in private hands. But slowly, I think we are moving towards, under the new government, towards partnerships with private parties, national and multinational players. So these changes will come. The problem is technology is a great enabler when you have the rest of it, the infrastructure in place. Now, even when GST comes, people are actually celebrating GST. What it actually does, it doesn't really cut physical costs on the ground so much, because you still have your customer clusters in places where they are. You have your manufacturing clusters in places where they are. So your need to serve last mile, your need to have your secondary distribution, your primary movement, nothing changes actually, yeah? At the most, you probably would reposition some of them from the taxation standpoint. But in terms of physical infrastructure, you probably would need even more of them. But what changes with GST is the flow. The flow is going to be so complete, because something like 28% of our productivity is lost out because of vehicles and idling around border checkpost, where you have a regulatory system that goes through certain physical action of verification on the ground that makes it a vehicle that should be in Bombay from Delhi in maybe 36 or 24 hours, probably takes 3.5 to 4 days. Now, all that would change. Productivity would change, and technology can play that great enabler. And we are seeing it in a very, very, very small way. If Flipkart is still able to do what they're doing, or Amazon doing what they're doing, like I told one of my friends who's the vice president with Flipkart, I said, you need really, really, really deep pockets Because by the time you build those critical densities and traffic in the supply chain, which actually provides you that economy of scale, it's probably going to take you years. Now, if you can really hold up, and if you got that kind of resource or a corpus in the background to support you, well, if not today, you probably would be one of the first guys to get to the other side of the tunnel and make serious profits after that. So there's a lot of challenges. I think that presents great opportunities. Things are not as bad as they were, regardless of the fact that our movement has been relatively slow. I think I would love to see the marketplace, consumers and customers looking at logistics or supply chain providers as partners and not having a contractor patron relationship. Today, the patron says, hey, this is what I need. Now, I don't know if that's what you need. Do you need to have a 100,000 square feet warehouse? Do you need this kind of a design in the warehouse? Maybe I could change it. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe I could make it more optimal. I could give you a completely different solution design in place. But you need that can only happen if there's trust, if there's marriage. I see great know-how, great technology in place. But you need to have a marketplace that embraces it and not be happy with the status quo and move as the country moves in slow motion. Okay, so that's where we are. We're open for Q&A right now. If anybody has questions to ask, this very distinguished panel sitting here. Yep. I didn't get the mic. We got two of them.
Good afternoon. I'm Ganpati from Indus Towers. We are having telecom towers. So my question to Dow Chemicals regarding the safety practices which they are adopting. The similarity, like you said, you have 5,000 odd employees in the SCM. You also have the same type numbers of employees who are exposed to electrical safety, height safety, as well as the road safety. So there are three questions to you. One is how you are measuring the safety parameters. Second is best practices you are adopting. Third is how you are driving your partner to adopt the safety.
Thank you. As I mentioned, 5,000 employees are for the global organization within the supply chain. Let me give you certain examples on how we are pushing the envelope from the safety point of view and from the compliance point of view. As I mentioned, we transport chemicals. We in the country were the first ones to start using the ISO tanks for transportation of hazardous chemicals. And the time we started this practice, the domestication of ISO tanks was not readily available in the country, and I'm talking of the times of 2005 and 2006. We were the first ones to bring in the equipments which were certified on the standards of ADR, like the European standards. That was also way back in 2006, 2007. One of our products, our first terminal at Kandla, it was certified by the European standards. We follow SQS practices, which is on the safety quality assessment system. Again, European best standards. Now, how we are partnering with our logistics service partners to push the envelope of safety and compliance. Let me give you one example. Warehousing standards, as defined under the MSISC norms, are not very clear. MSISC talks a lot about manufacturing, but not on warehousing. So we took a call within our own organization that if we have to open a warehouse anywhere within the country, we need to have certain minimum standards. So we started going to the pollution control boards of different states, asking for no objection certificates for the amount of material we were going to use in our warehouses. Second, the fire safety norms, which even the warehousing industry is pretty much fragmented, and we have certain multinational players which have started coming into this domain, but a lot needs to be done and a lot has been done. So we put a lot of focus on safety and compliance. As I mentioned, we would rather forego a pound as compared to safety. And I can definitely confirm this on this panel discussion that many of our logistics service partners, whether it is from the warehousing industry or from the CHA industry or from the transportation, they have adapted to these safe practices. They are more keen. They are putting in all these investments, which is kind of raising the bar on the safety and compliance. Though we are a little bit at a distance from the global standards, but we are on the right path, I can say.